For 35 years, I have had an infinite, profound, and unwavering faith in love, in which I dedicated everything, millions of rupees, body, mind, wealth, and invaluable time, solely to my guru. Because I was unable to give money while being submerged in their love, I was constantly scolded and humiliated among thousands of blind followers. I was pointed out with a finger and removed from the line of worship. The situation reached a peak when an IAS officer, simply at the request of a special worker, made several accusations against me and expelled me from the ashram. I was threatened with being dragged into court, handed over to the police, and even warned of a copyright lawsuit. I was declared insane and advised to see a psychiatrist. When I would visit psychiatrists, they would clarify that they had never seen a person like me before. Following this, I went to India's largest mental hospital in Amritsar, where I had 4 days of counseling, each lasting 6 hours, conducted by 10 of India's top philosophers and scientific doctors. They also confirmed that no one like me had ever been born in the creation. I sent all my written data to Lucy Hawkins, the daughter of David Hawkins, and she responded after analysis, stating that my data was not even comparable to ABC of her father's data, and that no one like me had ever appeared in the entire creation. On May 24th, 2024, I was at Harmandir Sahib Gurudwara in Amritsar with my daughter, when suddenly 2 English tourists, a couple, and a guide approached me, saying they had been searching for me for the past hour with a mobile phone photo in which a crown-like glow was shining on my forehead. This indicated that my guru had declared me insane, and that nature, represented by high-level scientific philosophers, had acknowledged me as the purest, simplest, and most accomplished being in creation. Based on my principles, I am the only individual in the entire universe who has existed permanently since the inception of humanity. I have achieved this by completely deactivating my temporary complex intellect through boundless love for my guru, such that for 35 continuous years, I remained wholly absorbed in purity day and night. I have forgotten even my pure intellect and my own face. Thoughts arise from the heart, and I was lost for a continuous 35 years. The temporary complex intellect leads to imagination, resolutions, options, thoughts, contemplation, and reflection. By not using the temporary complex intellect for such a long time, my intellect became inactive, allowing me to be impartial to myself and reach the pinnacle of purity. I came face to face with my true, permanent nature, living eternally and understanding myself. When I understood myself and resided in my permanent form, the existence of body, intellect, and nature ceased to matter. By being impartial to myself, I experienced a wondrous understanding, remaining in a single permanent essence. In that permanent aspect, everything remains unchanged. Only an extraordinary clarity and satisfaction emerges. Everything written in the scriptures and texts by past great beings is nothing in reality. All of it is based on being wise through temporary complex intellect, which can create confusion and allow one to falsely perceive, I am Brahman. Past great beings also experience this through temporary complex intellect, which anyone can do. The realization of one's permanent form is only possible after the deactivation of temporary complex intellect, and there is no other option. For this, there is no need for any kind of pretentious devotion, yoga, practice, knowledge, science, meditation, or adherence to guru-disciple traditions, rules, or beliefs. The breath's mechanism arises only from the realization of the permanent form within the heart. By confronting this reflection of one's permanent form, anyone can live eternally in reality. For this, it is absolutely necessary to be impartial to oneself and completely deactivate the temporary complex intellect, along with a firm understanding of impartiality. All this is a direct experience. Anything that is not direct is mere falsehood, deception, and hypocrisy, serving only to influence and attract others while fulfilling selfish interests. The desire to acquire temporary elements is just a means constructed through conspiracies, exploiting emotional words like faith, devotion, trust, and love, relying on karma and the guru's words while instilling fear of divine punishment and hell to deceive. The promise of liberation and heavenly rewards is also a false assurance given after death, because the option for proof vanishes, leaving a long-term opportunity to deceive people, and it truly is nothing. Such complexities arise from conspiracies that spiritual gurus are involved in. How can one expect compassion from them? They cross the limits of cruelty when it comes to their existence. They become frantic, making their opponents into killers while clearing themselves of all wrongdoing. The government machinery always operates in their favor. The entire vast temporary material creation and the temporary complex intellect generate possibilities based on the laws of nature, leading to chemical reactions of elements and qualities, resulting in actions and reactions. This is what is described as the soul and the supreme soul. The mixture of more than one element or quality creates a process that only leads to an understanding of temporary existence. There is nothing in the entire vast material creation that is permanent. The entire temporary, infinite material creation exists as a single possibility, and behind it lies the supreme nature's machinery, nothing else. Being wise through temporary complex intellect can only entangle one in more complexity. It is merely a means to understand and live life among countless choices derived from temporary elements and qualities. To the extent one can think, lie, or imagine, direct means are required. This is possible because there is nothing false in the temporary complex intellect. Whatever is direct, material, or subtle exists to some extent. However, the essence of the temporary complex intellect is that its existence is only through living. In reality, there is no existence. Not a single word of my principle, Yatharth Siddhant, can ever be found in all the religions, faiths, and organizations of the entire universe, because it is my achievement that no one has been able to realize since the inception of humanity. I have understood myself in a single moment by being impartial to myself, confronting my permanent form. This knowledge is solely for pure, simple, and natural people, as anyone can reside in reality by understanding themselves. Just a moment is enough to understand oneself. For others, it may take centuries or ages. The reason I never read any religious texts or scriptures of any faith or organization is that the breath and time I have in my body, governed by nature's supreme mechanism, are my personal capital, and I refuse to waste it on others. It is my right to understand myself and confront my permanent form. Those who do not value their own time and breath are not given even the time to regret. I have only read myself. I learned from a few clever and intelligent people and gurus who I understood through the lens of temporary complex intellect, but I had no intention of doing so, since I was confined to the proof of words after initiation. Therefore, I preferred boundless love for the guru over the pretense of devotion and forgot my pure intellect and face. However, the root of love and devotion for the guru